by Robert Florence, aka Collisionist. And no, I'm not going to say the other way in a backwards fashion. If you've been keeping up, it's one and the same with me. Just two personas needing to act its genuine self out in the moment. So what do we have today? Well, what do we have today for my inner musings? And that would be sleep. And then, of course, sleep paralysis and the wonderful horrors that come with it. So let's get to the importance of sleep. You know, as adults, the shit we lack and the things we ran away from as a kid. Unless, of course, it was with a boring-ass topic and the teacher just made you want to choke them out by their necktie. Or smother them with their blouse. Either or, it's the same. Death. Murder. Destruction. For feeling so shitty. So, we have 4 stages of sleep in each cycle. Now, some people are just so fucking blessed that they can hit the critical stages of sleep so they don't need to rest as much. So, there used to be 5, but for whatever reason in 2007, the American Academy of Sleep Medicine decided to change it. So your 3 stages are non-REM, non-rapid eye movements, or N1, N2, N3, and the first one is when you're dozing off. Oh, just sinking and sinking and sinking. Oh, I'm just feeling oh so good. Yes, I'm feeling oh so good. I can feel myself just drifting. And then all of a sudden, you get woken up rudely. Because you're just now falling asleep, and then some little asshattery just goes on, gets your attention. And when it keeps happening, well, you just feel like murdering everyone, including yourself, just so you can get some fucking shut-eye. And then, for all we know, if you were to do that, it might end up like a loophole where you're just trapped in a nice little eternity of your version of hell. I'm dozing off, wake up, murder, suicide, dozing off, wake up, murder, suicide. That would be one hell of a fucking cycle to go through, wouldn't it? Goddamn. So, once you get past the 1 to 5 minutes, well now, you're in number 2. 10 to 60 minutes. And remember, these are averages of people they've studied, of course. So in 2, it's a more subdued state. Down goes your temperature, and down goes the feeling of your muscles. You know, the sinking ship. Sinking. And then your breathing slows and your heart rate just doom, doom, doom. Pulse is slower, wow. Reminding you of your doom, that it is a clock. It'll eventually stop at some point now, won't it? And then you'll get short bursts of the brain activity, but not little twitches. Well, there might be some twitches, but remember, perfectly natural, because you're a fucking drug addict. Because drugs are just chemicals, and guess what? You're a fucking chemical composition of fucking chaos. And then eventually it might just go a little unhinged, and, well, who knows what the results will be? Isn't that fascinating? So, anyway, your brain has some activity in stage 2. to where it blocks out more of the outside noises. Isn't that something? Get some shielding from all that fuckery and asshattery just blah in itself out there. And then, well, we get to 3, which is the delta, the deep sleep state. And, well, what do we have here? Well, that's where they believe the stage is critical restorative sleep, allowing for bodily recovery and growth. Which explains why when you lack sleep, if you're me, well, you just end up with a sore body like it's just been, well, raped by just living a life. Living a lifestyle that likes to add to the beating of it. How we all destroy and rape our own signals and our senses every day with all the madness that we may or may not notice. Overwhelming to some and then embracing to others. So, how long do we stay in that? Well, 20 to 40 minutes. And then I forgot to make a mention that 2 is 10 to 60 minutes. Or maybe I did cover that. See what lack of sleep does? It fucks with your fucking memory. And then, well, what does that mean? Yeah, it helps with your insight, your thinking, your creativity, and your memory. And, well, we spend the majority, at least, of the first few cycles that we have to go through, you know, if we're going 8 hours of sleep. The first half of our 4 hours of sleep, well, we're just going to be chilling more in stage 3 more than anything else. And then eventually your rapid eye movement sleep, which is stage 4, will get longer and longer throughout the night. And that's when atonia happens. Oh, yes, it's time for that temporarily stuck in a stage of paralysis. Remember, you get to go through at least 4 cycles, 4 stages a night. Oh, beautiful. So you get to experience paralysis every single fucking night or day if you're like me, who, well, of course, commits to the graveyard shift. A lot quieter. Less people to deal with, too. It's quite nice. Oh, but people are you pushed out? Well, no shit. I'm sure they get tired of themselves, too. So, I like my quiet time. And, well, when you get to the stage of rapid eye movement, your activity gets to the point where it's like you're almost waking up. And this is where the dreams can get vivid. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. Well, unless you wake up in another fucking dream. And this is believed to be essential for the cognitive functions. Oh, like memory, learning, and, well, the creativity, just like the prior stage, the thinking, the reading, the remembering, the reasoning, and the attention span. And then here we have the beauty of sleep paralysis. Oh, the demon sits on my chest, or the witch sits upon my chest, that sinking feeling. And, of course, the beauty of panic increases when you try to move a limb, and or when you try to sit upright, or even when you try to wanna make it to the door. Yes, I've pictured that, because I get to experience sleep paralysis quite a bit at times, it seems like. And of course, they'll be like, well, check your sleep hygiene. Well, that hasn't been proven to work. And I find sleep paralysis quite fucking annoying. But I handle it and I deal with it. Eventually, my body will go to sleep. It already is asleep. What am I talking about? Eventually, my consciousness will slip off where it needs to. So, this stage, your breathing is fully controlled by the body and the muscles. So when you try to make the conscious effort to breathe, well, it just feels like you're suffocating because, well, the body's in control now, biatch. How's that feel not to have control of your own body? How's that feel to not have control of it? In fact, it feels like you're suffocating. Because when you try to breathe consciously and control it, well, hate to break it to you, sunshine. When it feels like something's sitting upon your chest and your body's in a sinkhole that you can't get out of, well, that's one hell of a way to experience now. A hell of a way to experience. So, your amygdala, oh, well, it's the threat center of the brain, the emotional threat center. Yeah, what does it do? Well, it confirms or dismisses the feelings of danger, you know. If everything's your normal, usual routine, well, it'll just dismiss that. But, like, if the light cuts out, since people are afraid of the dark, depending on who you are, just a power shake. Well, I'm sure that'll make the hair on your fucking neck stand, along with the, oh god, the goosebumps. And then you could feel so vulnerable and helpless, and then unable to tell what's real or what's not. If you need an example, like for me when I lay there, I start picturing and visualizing and even feeling the fucking tar pit around me. But I feel like and think that I'm awake, that I made it through the door, only to reset back in my fucking body, to be staring at my chest again. In some warped, blurred vision, it's all around me that resembles my room. And then I wake up in another goddamn dream like Inception, but I don't even care much for that movie. And then, oh, it's happening again and again and again and again and again and again, and where I think I'm awake. Isn't that a fun little fucking hell there? And well, where does that go from there? When you're unable to tell what's real and what's not. In fact, other cultures have their views on it, aka that's why I brought up the witch is sitting upon my chest, or the demon sits upon my chest. And then, of course, when it comes to sleep paralysis, there's a belief of astral projection happening from it, or it attributes to the alien abductions or the parasitical attacks we go through, and the view of danger differs. Because, you know, again, cultural views. Like, Denmark, the Danes, well, they treat it as trivial, so there's apparently less causes over there that we know of, but not everybody's willing to just get themselves researched, so who knows? Who knows? But then according to study like Egypt, there's a fear of death. In fact, it is so fearful, the fear of death when they're asleep, the psychological and the physiological fear makes them more susceptible because they wire their brain into it, because belief is such a fine bitch that puts a collar around your neck and then drags you all around by your fucking face. You don't even realize it until later. Because why do I believe in what the fuck I believe? Well, I don't got time for that. I gotta make money. Because money is how I'm going to live, of course. Big part of it. And of course, sleep deprivation and the increase in stress and the irregular sleep patterns, since we're all adulting so hard, can cause it. And it's most prevalent in anxiety-specific conditions like PTSD and panic disorder, and the genetics could also be a factor. And, well, if you're wondering what it's like to be paralyzed in your body that's the convict and your mind is the fucking warden, and then the fear is the goddamn riots that break out all around. Well, we'll go through hallucinations eventually. It could sound like humming. It could sound like hissing. It could sound like static or zapping or buzzing, and the noises along with voices and whispers telling you to do it. And then, of course, it'll just, maybe come out as a roar. Ooh. Tickle my ears, why don't ya? Well, the pressure on the chest, of course, as that happens, as I talked about, or even being dragged out of bed is the feeling, or the flying and numbness, or the electrifying tingles and vibrations. Why does your body feel that way? Well, who the hell knows? Could it be metaphysical? Could it be something that could be explained? Well, if you explain the metaphysical, it doesn't really lose meaning anyway, because you feel like a fine, magical, possessed bitch in that case. And what is it? When I deal with sleep paralysis, well, I used to panic so fucking much because I got to experience it when I was 12. It was my first time. It's when I really got into meditation and connecting within. And that led to the beauty of my body sinking and feeling the bed like it's sinking, and then hearing the lovely, lovely humming. No, it's like buzzing. The fly ears just moving in my ears, getting faster and faster, and it just gets more deafening and deafening and deafening and deafening. And how I try to move, I can't. No, I can't. And I just lay there helpless, thinking I'm gonna die. What a fine experience that was at 12. Especially when you think you wake up in another dream. No, scratch that. When you wake up somewhere else and you feel that dream is to be real, just like another life you've always been living. That's the type of dreams I have. In fact, it goes from paralysis, and then all of a sudden I'm another person in some type of escape somewhere, a different plane of existence. And then I just want to sleep there too. And then I just want to wake up. And then I just find myself in another one. I've even dreamed how I've gotten out of my body here and got to the door and made it, and then to reset back, as I discussed before. Fun stuff, right? Fun stuff. Fun. And that's all I have for this Inner Musing, and the beauty of sleep and what it can do for you, along with the horrors of paralysis. Metaphysical means behind it, or just your brain fucking glitches. Either way, I might as well just embrace some type of madness that makes some type of sense to me. So till next time, I'll be back with another one. And just as a reminder to everybody that watches and likes me. God bless you. Hopefully it's a God that has more of a clownish sense of humor, of course. Don't want to have one that takes itself so fucking goddamn seriously. How boring. And just a reminder that everyone is doing as best as they can. And each and every moment, and all the love to you. And may you find what really moves you to make it feel like it's worth living. Find those reasons